Dear friend.
Hi, my name is Adriana Dingle, and this is my crash course video on The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stefan Kabaski. In this video, I will be talking about the following topics: plot, characterization, and mode of narration and style. As well, I will also be talking about themes, audience, and relevance. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video.
Plot. At the beginning of the novel, Charlie is dealing with the suicide of his friend Michael. He is also beginning high school. To help him cope, Charlie begins writing to a person who he has never met before, but he knows that they'll listen. In school, Charlie meets 3 people who become very special in his life. First is his English teacher, Mr. Anderson. At the end of the novel, his teacher tells him, "I just want you to know you are very special, and the only reason I'm telling you this is because I don't know if anyone ever has." He also meets Sam and Patrick, who become his closest friends and introduce him to many other people. During Charlie's first year of high school, he gets his first girlfriend, makes friends, loses them, makes them again, and experiments with drugs and alcohol. The theme comes together at the end of the story. The premise is that we cannot always control what happens to us, but we can use it to develop what happens to us in the future, and we can learn from it. A quote from the book says, "So, I guess we are who we are for a lot of reasons, and maybe we'll never know most of them. But even if we don't have the power to choose where we come from, we can still choose where we go from there. We can still do things, and we can try and feel okay about them." For example, Charlie's Aunt Helen was molested as a child and then molested Charlie. She let her bad experiences turn her into a bad person. On the other hand, Charlie never did it because he was traumatized from it. Characterization. The main character in the story is Charlie. He is a freshman in high school and known as a wallflower. A wallflower is someone who is more on the sidelines of things and more shyer. Charlie's friend Patrick explains it by saying, "You see things, you keep quiet about them, and you understand." Another quote about what being a wallflower is, "If you care about somebody, you should want them to be happy, even if you wind up being left out." As I said before, Charlie made 2 very important friends, Sam and Patrick. They are step-siblings. He first met them when he went to a football game, and he made the ambitious move to sit beside someone who he recognized from his shop class. Sam and Patrick were the ones who introduced Charlie to new activities and new friends, and they made him feel accepted. The antagonist in the book is Charlie's own mind. Throughout the book, you find out that Charlie has mental issues to do with his aunt molesting him and not being able to fit in with others. Later on, after Charlie made a good group of friends, he got into an argument with them. While this was happening, Charlie wrote, "I don't know how much longer I can keep going without a friend. I used to be able to do it very easily, but that was before I knew what having a friend was like. It's much easier not to know things sometimes." Mode of narration and style. This novel is written in first person in the form of letters. He always starts his letter off with "Dear friend," and at the end he always says, "Love always, Charlie." He does not know the person he is actually speaking to, but he writes to them because, as he says, "I'm writing to you because she said you would listen and you would understand, and you didn't try to sleep with the person at the party, even though you could have." Since the whole novel is written in the form of letters, it makes it very personal and almost like they're writing to you. Stefan Kabaski, the writer of The Perks of Being a Wallflower, makes the story interesting by only adding details that are important for us to know. Many things are also inferenced and hidden. For example, when he writes, "And my mind played hopscotch, my brother, football, Brad, Dave and his girlfriend, the coats, the cold, winter, autumn leaves, don't tell anyone, you pervert, Sam and Craig, Sam, Christmas, typewriter, gift, Aunt Helen," and the trees kept moving. They just wouldn't stop moving, so I laid down and made a snow angel. The policeman found me blue, pale, and asleep. By writing this, he makes you remember all the things that happened before in the story, and how it all ties together at what is happening currently in the book. Themes. There are many themes you can pick out from The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Themes such as drug use, happiness, sexual abuse, and secrecy. A theme that stands out the most, though, in this novel is participation. An example of this is when Sam says to Charlie, "It's great that you can listen and be a shoulder to someone, but what happens when someone doesn't need a shoulder? What if they need arms or something like that? You can't just sit there and put everybody's lives ahead of yours and think that counts as love. You just can't. You have to do things. Sam is saying that if you never do anything for yourself and always do something for others, then you're not really living life to the fullest. Another part in the novel that shows this theme is when Patrick is talking to Charlie about how Charlie's thoughts are taking over his human interactions and how he participates with others. He says, "Sometimes people use thought to not participate in life." At the end of the book, Charlie proves that he has learned his lesson to participate in life. In his last letter, he writes, "I'm not sure if I will have time to write anymore, because I might be too busy trying to participate." Audience and relevance. I would highly recommend this book to anyone, no matter their age, social status, or life problems. I believe they'll be able to get something out of it. Plus, it's also very entertaining, and there's never a down moment. I would especially recommend this book to teenagers and young adults, especially the ones who want to participate more in life. This book has a message to stay strong, even during the downtimes. A quote from the book says, "Things change, and friends leave, and life doesn't stop for anybody." While growing, we experience changes in our lives, and we can learn from Charlie how to use what he did and transfer it into our own life and learn from him. Well, I hope I convinced you to take an interest in this book. I've got to go now and participate in life. Love always, Adriana.
She's gonna think I'm crazy.